It has been called the most popular game in schools. In truth, it's just a massively popular game. We're talking about Fortnite. What is it? Why is it such a big deal? Well, over the weekend in the United States, there was the Fortnite World Cup where, get this, in excess of $30 million worth of prize money was given out. And all of it went to my next guest, Seamus Byrne.
Oh, my God.
Why are you here? Seamus is from the Biteside Podcasting Network. Firstly, walk me through exactly what happened.
I actually just recently wrote a big history of the game for a website called the Esports Observer and looked at the fact that this weekend was the 2-year anniversary of the launch of Fortnite.
For somebody that's never played it before, what is Fortnite?
Yeah. And I mean, it's such a cartoonish, crazy game, right? Everybody jumps off a bus that is floating above this island on a giant balloon, and then you just jump out, you land somewhere, and then you have to start kind of finding items, and you start like harvesting wood and bricks and things so you can also build in the game.
Right. And so
last person standing wins the match.
Okay, so what happens at the Fortnite World Cup? Because we've been seeing headlines about people walking away with millions of dollars. I think in excess of $30 million that was made in prize money over the weekend.
Yeah, in terms of the entire weekend, yeah, about 36 million US dollars. So more than 50 million Aussie dollars. Yeah.
All right. So what actually happened?
Yeah. So over the last 10 weeks, there was the whole build up to it. So all this online qualification process, 40 million players actually participated in that, trying to kind of win one of 200 slots basically. And the final event happened in New York. So I kind of got to go over, invited by Epic Games to cover the event.
Is it that it feeds into a well-worn and very attractive archetype, or is there something else that you think has contributed to its massive success?
When it launched, it captured a lot of teenagers who were starting to age out of Minecraft. You know, that there was that era where people had played this game, which was a building game, and people had kind of added modes into Minecraft where you could kind of have combat and different things and do some of that social stuff. And then Epic came along and made this, again, this cartoon-friendly version that it had all these building aspects to it as well, so that, it just made it this much more approachable style for these younger teens who were sort of looking for something that was a bit more substantial. And then A, it was free to play, and B, it was a solid, serious action game, particularly when it then arrived on mobile. That's when it really sort of completely blew up. And within sort of about 6 weeks, I think it went from 40 million players to over 100 million players. And that was the sort of moment where, free on mobile and a genuine game was that sort of trifecta that meant it just went through the roof.
Yeah, right. Obviously, I can appreciate where the money is made in terms of a big World Cup. There's prize money. But for professional gamers, particularly in this space, right, how does one make money from being a Fortnite player?
Yeah. So number one, most of the biggest players in the world, they make money just by streaming on Twitch, basically. So that means they play online, but they're also able to kind of have that conversation with their real-time audience.
We should say
watching
that
chat.
Twitch is a streaming platform. If you're gaming, other people can tune in and watch on.
Yeah, it's like a platform with millions of channels. Where anybody can just start live streaming what's going on their game machine. And there is a real skill to that ability to read comments people are leaving for you, while you're also trying to play a game at quite a high level.
Multitasking, you say. Interesting.
Yes. And that kind of means when people are able to build that community that supports them in that way. And Twitch has a subscription system so that if you're above a certain threshold of followers, they will make you a partner of the network, which means you basically get a split on every subscriber's revenue. And if you've got a few thousand subscribers and you're getting, a couple of dollars per subscriber, that's a solid income.
So let's fast forward for me. Fortnite has been a huge, massive success. It's had a huge cut through. It's having a cultural moment. Does it last?
Yeah. So look, I think it's doing a great job of kind of growing up with its audience. And there are still, there are plenty of 20-somethings, 30-somethings who play the game too. So yeah, look, when it comes to that idea of how it's evolving, what is fascinating is that Epic Games, I think, has been leveraging the success in some really smart ways. One is that they've actually kind of added a very Minecraft style component to the game. They've added this whole creative element, which means every person can now basically have their own personal version of the island. They can build things. They can invite their friends to visit their island. And the founder of Epic Games, Tim Sweeney, is really quite openly talking about the idea that he sees Fortnite as becoming a platform rather than just a game. And it's something that he has these ambitions to kind of essentially use it as like the foundation for really big metaverse type discussions on, essentially creating a true shared virtual online community space that is about socialization as much as it's about anything else. He's genuinely starting to talk about things like opening it up in ways that tries to kind of make it an open standard for other people to build upon rather than just treating it as sort of a closed game.
All right, we have lots more in the podcast. We're also talking about a new law that has been proposed in the United States to stop social media from being addictive. How will that work? Well, you just got to listen to the podcast. We'll catch you there.